improvising. So improvising basically means if there is not a script or if there is a flaw in the script, something's wrong, but you have to like come up with something to make sense. So they may give you something like that, and so that could be some good point to start practicing. For public speaking, like the opportunities are endless for practicing. Anything you look at, you can just be like, okay, this mug, if I'm to talk about this mug for 5 minutes, what will I say? So I feel like you can practice all the time. So one thing I just wanted to ask was, have you guys already started preparing yourselves for the competition?
Actually, in first round, there be a topic for prepare, and in public speech, for the first round, my prepared topic is about my aspiration, and I will be trying myself to compete.
And how many rounds are there?
6.
Did you watch videos on YouTube, like sort of referred that some people are talking about aspirations? There are a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of motivational speakers from all around the world. So you can actually watch those videos to get some clue how they speak, what are the topics. Did you watch those videos?
Actually, sir have give us many videos about this, but it's a matter of sorrow that I didn't see any video about my aspiration.
Well, today you can say it. Today you can say it. I mean,
do you have a computer, like access to a computer, good internet connection?
Or phone in your phone?
She has a tab.
You have internet access, right?
Right.
So after going from here, you can look for videos relating to aspirations, and you on news presentations.
Another brief point. So again, tomorrow you're flying for the competition, right? So we have one day to do final preparations. Something else I did if I was doing similar competitions is try to understand how it's judged, how the scoring works. Sometimes people will do great speeches or the debate will be excellent, but they haven't thought about like
the categories.
Exactly, which categories they're scored on, and sometimes they miss points when if they understood, they would have been able to cover it. Does that make sense? So one thing I would try and understand is how are you judged, and even if you know anything about the judges and their backgrounds, sometimes that helps too. So that's something I would do with one day left. Does that understand?
Yeah, I mean, you just so far. I mean, I think since they've like gone through one round, probably did something right, and probably try to replicate, like look through your speech again, look through what you've done, and see what looks good or what you think was good, and try to maybe do something along those lines. But also once you're there, like you will probably have multiple rounds. So in one round, or like just even beyond your competition, try to go to the other events as well and see like how people are doing, how they're being judged, like what kind of questions judges are asking, because maybe you'll have the same judges at some point or something in a second round or something. So try to get to know, like he was saying, basically try to get to know as much as possible about the people who are judging you, because if you can understand their mindset, then it becomes much easier. So.
Did you have any specific questions for us?
If you have any questions for us, you can always ask.
One thing, I mean, very briefly, the way you started talking, I like this spirit. Keep this up. Sit straight. The way you're sitting down, sit straight. This is a confidence building mechanism. When you sit like this, you get demoralized. So whenever you face a board or competition, you always have to sit straight, act like a leader. I mean, there are some postures which are called leadership postures. A boss, the way he behaves, the subordinate doesn't behave in the same way. The leader, the way the leaders behave, the followers doesn't behave in the same way. So you have to think that you are the queen of the world, you are the president of the world. So present yourself as a representative ambassador of your school, of our country, right? And have that spirit. Keep this spirit up. You have questions to ask?
Okay. I have 2 articles and I have time of 3 minutes. Then my question is that how I can present more things in my short time.
I think with any speech, always it helps if you think yourself as the listener. Like if you are the listener, what would you want to listen to? What kind of speech would you like? Like, you know, if you're watching news, what kind of presenter do you like more? Someone who's like speaking really fast, giving you a lot of information, and you can't, like, before you can process one point, going to the next one. So speed often doesn't help. It's more about how well you can convey a message to your listener. So even if you have a short time, instead of trying to cover everything, maybe just cover like a few key points and try to really explain those points well. Because people will remember only a few things anyway. You know, we listen to so much every day. We listen to like 50, people talking every day. But how much do we remember? So it's all about how well you say the few things that you do say, and not about content, like in terms of how much you're saying.
Absolutely. And something that I do to prepare along those lines is I take a large article and I focus on a few key points, just as Sahara is saying, and I remember those key points. And I think about them before the speech, literally right before the speech. I'm not trying to remember every sentence, I'm trying to remember those key points. And that'll come through in your body language more than just in your words. Like when they can tell you understand what you're saying and you know the point, it just comes through naturally.
Okay. And when I come from one article to another article, have there any formality?
Can you give an example of like
Any pause like this? How much
when
gap?
you switch from one point to another point,
The pause.
you can relate if it is possible. You have to relate the first point with the second point, because there is always a chronology. You have this synchronizations inbuilt in a topic. But if it is a separate issue, it's no harm giving a pause and jump into the next idea.
Okay, I think it's not so different. First of my topic is traditional arts, and second of all is traditional dance. So I think it's not so different from each other.
it's all sort of under culture and performing arts. So
yes.
Yeah, if the thematic area was completely different, let's say if one was like a news story and like one was, let's say, a conflict somewhere in the world and the other one was sports, some tournament, then you would just state the heading, and now we talk about sports, or now we talk about international affairs, something like that, like newscasters do. But in your case, it's like the same issue area, so you can just seamlessly go from one to another. There is no need to build up for that.
The only question I have also on that is, are there any formal guidelines? That's where you go back to judging. So for example, some judges, they want to understand when they're making notes, like these are two separate articles. So do you know if there's, in the preliminary rounds, did you have to make it clear to the judges? Are there any guidelines?
Did you receive any guidelines from the instructions from the authority?
Yes.
So you have to go through it,
Exactly.
read it, peruse